All right, thank you guys so much for attending today for the Fundraise the Bar RSO funding workshop. My name is Alexandra Brown. I'm the student organization specialist here in the Student Life office. So I oversee all of the clubs and organizations on campus. Today we're going to go into a little bit about hosting a fundraiser, the brainstorming, and then the fundraiser request form, which is not only for any fundraisers, but for also donation requests. Then we're going to go into fundraising ideas, a little bit about some options you guys have, and then the fundraising do's and don'ts. And then we'll wrap up with any questions. So to start with hosting a fundraiser. So the brainstorming part, of course, is starting with the why. Why do you want to host a fundraiser? Now, I think the thing that has been a misconception with clubs is that like you just have to fundraise just to fundraise and like make money. That's not always the case. You may not even need the funding. So if student activities gives a budget from Fund 14 to your club every year, and that's been substantial enough. Some clubs can live off of 250, some clubs need 1,000 for the year, you know, some clubs need more than that for different events and occasions. So if there is a case like that, that's where we want to suggest fundraising. Where are the funds going? That's another way to think about it. Now, is your club really passionate about a certain organization in the community, or a national organization that they would like to raise funds for in particular, or is this going straight to the registered student organization for something they're doing? Then I like to call it brain dumping, all of the fundraising ideas you have. So it could be something that you think is probably really silly, but in the end, just dumping out any idea you have and basically emptying your brain of all those fundraising ideas really helps to kind of narrow down and see what everybody thinks. So something I would highly recommend with the brain dumping is setting like a timer for maybe 5-10 minutes, and with your officers or with your members or however you want to do it, doing a little brain dump session, and then at the end, you know, going over those different ideas that you guys have and think of the fundraiser, the supplies needed, anything that you can think of related to that fundraiser. And then do remember, fundraising is a group effort, so who's going to be working on it from the RSOs? We don't want it to be just an advisor or just one officer super passionate and going to do all the work for the fundraiser, because that takes away. I mean, if you have a fundraising chair or, you know, a fundraising committee within your club, totally fine. But we don't want all that fundraising responsibility to fall on one person. So that's why I wrote like who's going to be working on the fundraiser. Is it going to be all of you guys? Is it going to be the officers mainly doing the working part of the fundraiser, and then, you know, everybody else just kind of participates by either purchasing something or, you know, along those lines. And then setting a specific timeline for your fundraiser. So the exact date, time, and location that you're going to host that fundraiser, and then those action steps along the way. So for example, if I'm going to host a fundraiser on campus and I want to host it, I'm going to be like, okay, I want to do it November 21st on campus. And what are my action steps going to that? Well, first, I'm going to brainstorm the idea. And from there, set the date, time, and location, purchase any supplies needed, contacting anybody on campus that I need to reserve the space, stuff like that. So those action steps will really help. And then you can also divvy up those action steps to different members and officers, which helps. All right, so hosting a fundraiser, the fundraiser request form. So we're going to actually go through this a little bit. I'm going to pull it up on the website, and then I'm going to unshare this screen and move to the website screen. So this, used to be two separate ones. It used to be the fundraiser request form and then a separate donation request form. So now this is kind of the all-encompassing form. So basically, there's just a little blurb at the top. If your registered student organization wishes to facilitate an approved fundraiser, you do have to complete the form below 30 days prior. RSOs cannot conduct any fundraisers without permission from the Office of Student Life. That's just because we need to know what's going on and be able to tell the appropriate people on campus. And then something to note is that Fund 14 money is only for registered students and like activities related to that. RSOs are not allowed to pay for any fundraising supplies from the Fund 14 budget. So, for example, if you guys were hosting like a car wash or something like that, you would have to first purchase those either out of your own funds or maybe like a donation from the community, however you guys kind of do that, and then purchase those supplies and then take that money and put it back from the supplies from when you actually host your fundraiser. So here you're going to put your name. So we'll go through this portion so I can show you email, phone number, name of your organization. So let's just say anime gaming. For whom are you planning to raise the funds? So if it's a nonprofit or if you're doing it for your organization, then here is the biggest part. So monetary versus non-monetary donations. Monetary meaning money, and non-monetary meaning like an actual donation. So if you're hosting like a donation drive for coats for the homeless or a donation of pet supplies for a shelter during Christmas, something like that, then you would put non-monetary donations and it would bring you down to the donation drive requester form. And that's a separate form or a separate part of the form that you'll go through. Now, if it's monetary donations, then you'll hit next. Oh. The phone number is a little finicky. So how much money do you plan to raise? So like an estimate of how much you want to raise. We'll say 500. What secure method has been developed to safely store the money once it has been raised? I 100% feel more comfortable with an advisor holding on to that money. We've had instances where clubs have allowed like a certain officer to hold the money and the money goes missing, or they stop responding and like going to the club meetings, and so something like that wouldn't be most recommended. So I highly recommend your advisor to hold on to that money. So I'd say advisor in office. How will the money get to its final destination? Advisor will bring to business office. So if you guys are gonna use that money for anything related to campus-wide activities, you'll want to actually bring that money to the business office and put it in your Fund 50. The Fund 50 you can put money in and take it out, whereas Fund 14 you cannot take the money, or you can't put money into it, excuse me. So I would say put it in the business office. Who's going to be responsible for that? Again, they're going to deposit the funds, ensure that the members follow the guidelines. Primary contact person, so that would be the advisor, and then you submit the form down here. So that's the gist of the form. Again, if you're doing a donation drive, it walks you through those steps as well. So let's go back to the PowerPoint now that we talked a little bit about that. So different fundraising ideas, different sales. So like I mentioned before, car washes, t-shirts, gift wrapping during the holidays. Tournaments have been really, really successful. I know a lot of people love video game tournaments, dodgeball tournaments, other athletic related tournaments. You could do, an entry fee of $20 per team for dodgeball per se, and then the winner gets a $20 gift card or something, so that you're putting it back in, but you take it from what's raised. You could do a stress relief event, so crafts, or you purchase bulk canvases and have a painting day, and the students, pay $5 to attend, or competitions. Penny Wars is really popular. They used to do that a lot in like high schools and stuff, where you would raise money for charity, and it would go by penny wars. So anybody would donate loose change and put it into a jar. And then at the end, everybody would count their jars, and whoever had the most would get a pizza party. So something like that. But one that is fail safe, that I like to call it, is the restaurant fundraisers. Our Student Nurses Association has worked with Chick-fil-A before, where they had a Chick-fil-A spirit night, and a percentage of the proceeds go to the Student Nurses Association. They've done that quite a bit. And then let me actually bring up this group raise page. Stop sharing and then reshare. So Group Raise is a great site that shows you different organizations near you. And you can look at different types of restaurants that do fundraisers. So if I type in 77339, this is going to tell me all the different places. So Schletzky's, they donate back 15%. Mod Pizza 20%, Smash Burger 20%. Generally, they stay around the same area of percentage back, but it's good to note where they are. Then you can, once you've selected a restaurant, so say I want Five Guys, I can pick the date. So let's do the 28th from 2 to 9. People can come. Estimated group attendance, average menu price stays the same. So if the group attendance is 200, you're estimating that. It says any resource policies, and then you can review it. So I really like this site because it makes it really easy to connect and host events. And an outstanding partner, it lets you sort by them. So like Mod specifically has been named an outstanding partner in spring. Higher price, lower price. That means the average price of the food, not the donation rate. Then you can rally it by donation rate. Again, 20% is like the standard, it seems. And then by distance. So I really like those, and you get to pick the time frame that you do it. So say you do want to host this event. Let's walk through the scenario again. So if you're going to host a fundraiser at Mod Pizza on, let's say, November 1st from 7 to 9 p.m., we're hosting a fundraiser at Mod Pizza. For every purchase, you get 20% of the profits from that night. So then you can market it with different flyers on campus, send it out via student email, word of mouth, family and friends, and then everybody that comes, obviously the proceeds would go to you. So that's why I really like those restaurant fundraisers specifically, because you don't have to do a lot of the physical work. It is like paperwork involved, but it's a lot easier to work with a company than to per se like host a car wash on your own and have to market and all of that. Like, and everybody knows Chick-fil-A, everybody knows Panera, so it's super easy to do stuff like that. And half the time people are already looking at, like, a lot of people eat out on the weekends or eat out at different places during the week. So it's not too out of their comfort zone to eat out at these events during the week. So that's why I highly recommend those in particular. Now, some fundraising dues. All purchases, like I said, must be purchased out of pocket. Or if you already have Fund 50 funds, so say you had a fundraiser last year and you're hosting another one this year, you could use the fundraising funds for that. You do want to have adequate signage. Again, post it on social media if your club has social media. Ask to post it on the LSC-Kingwood social media. Ask Student Life to post it on their social media. Other services on campus to post it in their social media. Post flyers around campus. And if you want help with a design, sometimes the company will actually give you them, because I know like Chick-fil-A, they have like a standard promotional flyer that they use. So you could use that, plug and play the information, boom, you got it done. Other times you might have to create one, and you feel free to reach out to me if you have questions about creating an actual flyer, and I can walk you through that process too. Be specific about how much money will go to an RSO or nonprofit. Like, if you have a goal, try to make sure that you guys get to that goal. You know, that's the whole point of goal setting. And then it's always great to thank our sponsors or donors or speakers, whoever does it, because at the end of the day, you are a representative of LSC-Kingwood, so we don't want people in the community. So for example, if I was with a club and we went to Panera and we hosted a fundraiser, and I was just a terrible, terrible example for LSC-Kingwood, chances are not only will they say something to someone they know that works at Kingwood, but also that'll ruin the partnership in the future for the whole campus. Like, if we do a terrible job, they won't want to do business with our campus. So remember, you are representing LSC-Kingwood during this process. And then again, keep the advisor in charge of holding and depositing fundraiser funds. Super easy to do it that way. Then there's no middleman, and then they can deposit it straight to the Fund 50. Now, some don'ts. No crowdfunding, no group me type fundraisers. Donations made by donors are accepted at the business office. So say there's a community member, you knock on their door, like your neighbor or something, and you're like, hey, I'm having this fundraiser tomorrow. Would you be able to come out? And they were like, no, but I'll donate $100 to the cause. Then you could definitely take those donations and bring them to the business office. Those are definitely accepted, but you can't do like a group me, or not a group me, sorry, GoFundMe, and just raise funds that way. Like, those are not, we do not do crowdfunding. Those are not allowed. No fundraisers that go against board policies, so no like gambling, raffling, holding lotteries without the college approval. So you do have to get extra approval for that, but no sale or use of alcohol. And then obviously, due to COVID, there is no bake sales. Nothing that is pre-made, or I should say, nothing that is not pre-made can be like sold. So I would stay away from bake sales and that kind of stuff. And in general, it's probably better to stay away from the raffles and the lotteries and that kind of thing. I would personally stick with the the easiest route, which is those restaurants or the catalog fundraisers that they do throughout the year as well. Now, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I appreciate you guys for coming today. Thank you for, wanting to learn more about fundraisers. If you have more questions, I will be sending this presentation out, and then I did record this so anybody can watch it afterwards if need be. My email is Alexandra, my first name, .brown@lonestar.edu. Feel free to send any questions and stuff like that there as well. I hope you guys have a great day, great afternoon, and happy fundraising in the future.